All right, you guys, the last 4 years have been incredible. They've been incredibly difficult. We have overcome enormous challenges as a state. But I have to say, being a partner with Governor Spencer Cox has been an incredible privilege. There were a lot of times in the last 4 years that he and I looked at each other and said, this might cost us the election next time, but we don't care. We're going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I can't tell you how that helped me sleep at night as a leader in the state of Utah, to know that we were making decisions, even hard decisions, because they were the right thing to do, even if they weren't maybe the popular thing to do. And I'm really grateful that the Republicans in the state of Utah have chosen to nominate us once again, and we're going to work really hard for the rest of the election season and win the votes of the rest of the people of the state of Utah.
Yeah, thank you. Well, to all of our supporters here tonight, thank you so much for being here in the heat. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for knocking doors. Thank you for putting signs up. Thank you for talking to your neighbors and your friends. We have an incredible state. We are so lucky to be able to serve in these positions over the past 4 years, and we're really excited to get ready for November. I just want to say a couple things and thank a couple people. I have to thank my incredible wife, Abby, the First Lady of this state. She does more than most of you realize. She has done so much good in this state, and I'm so grateful for her. I'm proud of her. I love her. Thankful for my children who have put up with all of the nonsense and have been with us throughout all of this. These things are really hard on families, and it doesn't work unless you have a tremendous amount of support at home, and we're both lucky to have that incredible support. Gabe Henderson, the second gentleman who is here with us, incredible. Thank you, Gabe, for all that you do. We love you, my friend. I also want to thank my cabinet and senior staff. Look, sadly, elections become about memes and 280 characters on Twitter or X and Facebook posts. But the real work of governing happens every single day. And I'm here to tell you guys, we have the best cabinet and senior staff in the history of Utah and anywhere in the country right now. These people have all given up better jobs, higher pay to sacrifice, and Utah is the best run state in the nation for a reason. It's not because of me, it's not because of the Lieutenant Governor, it's because of these people who toil every day to do the hard things and get things done. Look, we try hard to do things the right way. We don't always get it right. I'm the first to admit that. But we believe that there is a better way to govern, that the way that our country is trending, the polarization that is out there is not healthy. The destruction of institutions, destroying trust in our neighbors, destroying trust in our fellow Americans, destroying trust in the institutions that have made us the greatest nation on earth and the greatest state in the nation is not healthy for any of us. So I'm proud that we rose above the fray, that we did it the right way. We did it without attacking. We did it without negativity. And I'm grateful that the people of Utah responded. You'll notice in our logo up here, we have a heart in the middle of that state. Look, I believe that you can, let me put it this way. I reject the notion that to be strong, you have to be mean. There is nothing conservative about tearing other people down. There is nothing conservative about destroying the institutions that make us a country. There is nothing conservative about treating our fellow Americans with contempt. I challenge the notion that we aren't the most conservative team in this race. We aren't the most populist team, that's for sure. But we are the most conservative team in this race. And it's those conservative values that has made Utah the greatest state in the nation. And we are proud of those conservative values. We're proud to stand as the nominees of the Republican Party. We look forward to a clean race as we move towards November. We look forward to winning in November. And we look forward to 4 more years of prosperity to the #1 state in the nation. Every governor thinks that. But U.S. News and World Report proved it, that we are, once again, 2 years in a row, the #1 state in the nation. Thank you to our volunteers, our friends and family. We love you so much. You make this state great. It's about you. We the people won this race, and we're proud of you. And with that, we're happy to take any questions.
Governor, how much did those attacks from the right impact you as you campaigned?
I want to be clear. Those attacks don't come from the right. Populism is not the right. Populism is not conservatism. And I wish the media would get this right. This is something different. This is something different. But yes, negative campaigning works, or people wouldn't do it. It doesn't mean it's good. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for our country. It's not good for our state. And so yeah, those things work. And tragically, many people believe those. And so we will work really hard, continue to work really hard to tell people the truth about who we are and what this state is about. And we always believe that in the end, truth will win, and we proved that again this time.
Governor, what do you think about what this race says about Trump's influence in Utah?
Look, Donald Trump is the nominee of the party nationally. He's going to win here in Utah. Again, I think though our Republican Party is different in Utah. Many Republicans will vote for Trump, and that's okay because that's the nominee, right? But I think what we've shown is, again, we're different. We do care about our neighbors still, and we should. We shouldn't put our political identities first. We are Utahns first. We are Utah Jazz fans first. We're now hockey fans. We're a whole bunch of other things before that, and I think it shows. And by the way, I think we're the last bastion of hope for the rest of the country when it comes to a republicanism that is inspirational, that is forward-thinking, that cares about solving problems and not tearing down. That's the difference. That's the difference. If you look at the race that we ran, we are about solving problems. There were no proposals submitted. Our opponent has been in the legislature for 6 years. If any of those things he said were true, he could have solved them in 6 years, but he didn't. We are about problem solving, and our Republican Party in Utah is about problem solving still.
So how do you welcome his power? Those attacks were different. How do you mean different? What were they? You said they weren't attacks from the right. They were something different.
No, I just don't like this idea that that we're calling people conservatives because of the way they treat other people. That's not conservative. Policies are conservative. We have a conservative philosophy. This idea that that's the right, versus moderate, just doesn't ring true to me, and I don't think it rings true to most Utahns.
I guess the question I asked: what were they if they weren't attacks?
They're populists. Yeah.
Governor, how do you unite the party and unite your constituents moving forward?
Yeah, look, again, we represent the Republican Party and we represent the entire state of Utah. We have an opponent. We have an opponent whose ideas, I believe, are very dangerous for our state. Ideas that would radically transform our state. We are where we are because of the conservative governors that we've had in the past, like Governor Gary Herbert, who is here, in whose footsteps we get to follow. Governor Levitt before him. We've had incredible governors in our state, and that's going to continue. And so there is a real choice on the ballot in November. It's a real choice. It's a very different choice, and I know that Republicans will respond to that.
What is your hope for the next 4 years if you do win in November? What do you want to see Utah look like in 4 years?
Yeah, so we have a lot of work left to do, and it's continuing things we're working on. We've mentioned the price of housing. We know it's too high. We passed several bills. They're just going into effect now that are going to have an impact, but that's a big one for us. That's a big one. We're going to continue to work to prepare for the Olympics that are coming in 10 years. The next 4 years are going to be crucial in the work that we're doing there. So it's an exciting time to be a Utahn. There are major plans to transform downtown Salt Lake City. We're going to be working with the mayors of the city and the county on making that happen. And again, conserving Utah values, making sure that our kids and grandkids can live here, making sure that we are still the most family-friendly state in the nation, that we're protecting our kids and grandkids from social media. These lawsuits and the laws that we're putting in place to hold social media accountable, those are important, and we're going to follow those through.
Governor, were you surprised at all by the margins, and do you expect them to hold?
Not at all surprised by the margins. That's about where we expected them to be. I'm sure they'll fluctuate a little bit, but they'll hold pretty close.
Are you more concerned about this race you just had, this populist race you say you just battled, as opposed to facing a Democrat in November? Which one's harder for you?
Look, they're both challenges, distinct challenges. They're both important. I don't know that one's harder than the other. Obviously, a well-funded opponent who was, who didn't care about the truth. Those are a challenge for sure. But we know we have a formidable challenger on the Democratic side. I served in the legislature. We both served in the legislature with the Democratic nominee, and so it'll be a tough race. But again, we are a red state. We're a conservative state, and we're a conservative state for a reason, and we look forward to representing those values.
You were attacked in this campaign about the governing better, the governing different.
Yeah.
What's your response to that when that was kind of used as a talking point against you?
Sure. Look, if you want to attack me for treating people I disagree with respect, go ahead and attack me all day. That's fine. That's great. I think that says more about you than it says about me. Again, disagreeing better is not that we all have to agree or get along. I love the people who didn't vote for me. I love the people who voted for my opponent. I respect that. That's what we do. It's a competition of ideas. And if the people of Utah, if the Republicans wanted someone else, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no problem with that. But there's a way to do that with dignity and respect. And sadly, we didn't see much of that. But you will see that from us moving forward.
Do you think that idea is the forefront now in a place that we are in governing, that you are kind of in the forefront of something different, some change?
I'm not in the forefront of it. This is who Utah is. This is who we've always been. People say it's in our DNA. But I want to be clear. This is who we are, but it is not in our DNA. We are going to have to fight because the rest of the country decided that we're not going to do this anymore, that we're going to hate each other, that we're going to tear each other apart. And in Utah, we're the anchor. We're the last best hope of this nation to say that's not who we are. We are better than that. So I'm not at the forefront. I am following generations of leaders from Utah who have always done it this way. It just feels like we're all at the forefront because the rest of the country and our party moved away from us. And so now Utah finds ourselves at the front. We didn't ask for this. This isn't what we wanted to do, but somebody has to do it. Somebody has to stand up and tell our nation that there is something better. We don't have to do this anymore. We can fight about ideas. We can have elections. We can have a battle of ideas. But at the end of the day, we have to respect the results of those elections, and then we have to work to make our country better, no matter who wins. And that's what we're going to do. Last question.
Tomorrow morning, you got to get up.
Last question.
Tomorrow morning, you got to get up. You got to do it all again.
Yeah.
What do you say to yourself? What does Abby say to you to get you to roll out and do this all over again?
There's a moment in every race where we look at each other, and you ask yourself, why do we do this? When you see the 30th attack that day, making up something, questioning your integrity with no evidence, nothing, you start to wonder, is it worth it? Like, we both had better lives before this. There are so many other things we could be doing. And then you roll out of bed and you go to a school and you see these amazing teachers and these kids. You see, the Special Olympics kids that Abby works with. You see the people of Utah just doing good every day, and then you realize we are the luckiest people on earth. We're the luckiest people in this state. That burden just lifts, it goes away, and who gets to do this? We don't take it for granted at all. We pinch ourselves every day and think, I can't believe we're here. It doesn't make any sense. If you look at our backgrounds, if you look at where we grew up, how we grew up, if you look at the challenges that our families had when we were younger, they don't let kids like us do stuff like this. And yet we're here, and we get to do this. We're no different than anybody else out there. And that's what's amazing about this great country that we call home. This land of liberty, the Declaration of Independence that says that we have these unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and we the people hold the power, and we get to decide who wields it. And you don't give it to kings. There isn't a lineage that it comes from. You can come from San Pete County and Spanish Fork and still get to do this. And so you guys, it's the privilege of a lifetime. We love you. We love this state, and we're so blessed to be here. God bless you all. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, guys.